why every team can win the Super Bowl. I'm mainly
If you're looking
watching
for
this
some optimism and a reason to be excited
Saints.
about your
I'm mainly watching this. I'm a Saints fan. I'm waiting to how we win the Super Bowl.
team heading into 2026, you've come to the right place. Because this is why every team is going to win the Super Bowl this season. Now, some of you may look at the Dolphins roster and think that is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But I'm here to tell you, if you're one of those people, you're not
Yeah, it's horrible.
looking hard enough. This is a team with one of the most versatile running backs in the NFL, who's more than capable of racking up 2,000 yards on his own. A quarterback who just spent 2 years in one of the NFL's ultimate quarterback factories, and now gets his chance to shine with a head coach and GM from that same franchise who will give him a sense of familiarity and comfort with his new team, giving him even more confidence. Oh, but they have no receivers. Says who? All I see are guys who were never given a real chance because they've been playing behind all pros their entire careers, but who flashed every single time they got on the field. This team's ready to shock the world. The Knicks just won the NBA championship, so clearly this is the year for New York sports teams who haven't won anything in 50 plus years to finally bring another one home. People are already writing off Geno now that he's back in New York, but did we not learn this lesson last time? You can't write off Geno Smith. Besides, we all know his down year in Vegas wasn't his fault. Chip Kelly's playbook was only 1 page long, and the only thing on it was the word lose. Geno's gonna get back to his winning ways this year. It's not like it's unheard of for a former second-round pick to have a slow start to their career before coming into their own and bringing New York a championship. The Patriots are gonna win the Super Bowl because Drake May has learned from his mistakes, and now he's gonna go scorched earth on the entire league. We're talking about a guy who went from pretty average and a 4-13 record in year 1 to MVP runner-up and Super Bowl runner-up in year 2. At this rate, he's gonna ascend to a literal football demigod by year 5, but for year 3, an MVP and a Super Bowl ring will do. Again, this team made the Super Bowl last year and went out and added a true alpha wide receiver 1, an ideal wide receiver 2, and last year's interception leader who came away with 7 of them, which ironically is also the number of banners New England's gonna have after this season. The Bills are finally gonna get over the hump. They already have the best quarterback in the game, and now they've gotten rid of their albatross head coach who was holding them back. Joe Brady is going to massively improve the vibe while still maintaining the things that make the Bills great, aka their buzzsaw of an offense that fills defenders' hearts with fear and their pants with poop. And an offense that, oh by the way, just got itself an actual wide receiver 1 for the
DJ Moore.
first time since Stephon Diggs left. Josh and company have been knocking on the door for a few years now, and this is the year they finally break it down. The Raiders just hired Clint Kubiak, and I don't know if you're aware, but he just won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks. So not only is he bringing his offensive prowess to Las Vegas, he's bringing championship DNA. DNA which, by the way, is shared by his national champion, soon-to-be starting quarterback Fernando Mendoza. We've already seen teams in recent years go on deep runs because of a new quarterback-head coach combination that worked out right away. But none of them, not the Commanders, not the Patriots, not even the Seahawks, came in with this kind of championship pedigree. And you could bet Vegas is going to use that to their advantage. What do I even need to say about the Chiefs? Down year, schmown year. We're talking about Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and 3 Super Bowl wins. Oh, but you're worried about Mahomes' statistical decline the last few years. That's understandable. Except no, it's not, because they just brought back their offensive coordinator from their peak years, Eric Bieniemy. Not to mention they're about to have the best running back they've ever had in the Patrick Mahomes era. Hope you enjoy.
He's not going to do as good. Kenneth is not going to be as good on the Chiefs.
Enjoyed that brief intermission from the Chiefs dynasty, because Act 2 starts now. We're not going to be calling him If Man after this season, because it's not a matter of if he wins a Super Bowl, it's a matter of when, and the when is now. All Justin Herbert ever needed to turn his hypothetical wins into reality was an offensive line that's not made of wet socks, and an offensive coordinator that wasn't Greg Roman, the human version of a wet sock. Sure, Herbert's had good OCs in the past, but that was before Jim Harbaugh was steering the ship. Now they've got everything. The right head coach, a healthy pair of stud tackles to keep Herbert upright, and an OC that was able to make Tua look good. Imagine what he can do with a talent like Herbert. Spoiler, it rhymes with pin a pooper pole. The Broncos could have won the Super Bowl last year if Bo Nix didn't snap his ankle so nonchalantly in the divisional round that it gave us all one of the most baffling ESPN push notifications of all time. So this year, they're just gonna run it back, minus the ankle snap. They've got a Super Bowl winning head coach leading the way, one of the best offensive lines and defenses in the league, and the only real change they made this offseason was getting Bo Nix the best receiver he's ever had. This is a better version of a team.
Yeah, Waddle.
That only missed out on a Super Bowl appearance last year because they had to hand the keys over to Jarrett Stidham in the most important game of the season. And he, as expected, crashed the car. But this year, Bo Nix is taking back the wheel. And it's going to be a smooth drive on the way to Lombardi. Liam Cohen is that dude. Hey, someone remind me, has a first-time head coach ever had a pretty good first year with a team where he showed clear signs of changing the culture and turning things around, and then followed it up with an even better second year that culminated in a Super Bowl? Oh, it just happened? You don't say. Cohen is exactly what this team needed. He's unlocked Trevor Lawrence, he's got this offense firing on all cylinders to the tune of a 13-4 record, and that was without much contribution from arguably the 2 most talented receivers on the roster. Those guys are only going to get better. Bashal Tutin's going to lead the league in rushing, and Trevor Lawrence's majestic hair is going to be back in the winner's circle where it belongs. The Texans' defense is so terrifying, it could could probably drag the rest of the team to a Super Bowl on its own. And we got a taste of that last year, with them carrying an offense that was pretty bad all the way to a 12-5 record and a dominant first-round playoff win over the Steelers. So if they can do all that without a functional offense, imagine what they could do with one. Well, you won't have to imagine much longer. The O-line's been rebuilt so it can actually protect CJ Stroud for the first time in years and help him get back to being the guy that he was in 2023. The run game is revamped with David Montgomery in the mix instead of washed-up Nick
And Demo.
Chubb, and Tank Dell's finally returning, which if nothing else should be great for the vibes. The offense is about to be good again, if not great. And considering this defense has shown us it probably only needs a team with a passable offense to win a Super Bowl, having an offense that you could even describe as good honestly might be overkill. Hey, remember when the Colts looked like the Super Bowl favorite in the first half of last year? Oh, you do? Well, I don't think I believe you, considering they're basically running that team back and no one seems to care. We all understand a resurgent Daniel Jones was the engine behind that offense that wildly exceeded expectations, and we all understand that he tore his Achilles. But do we all understand that that's becoming less and less of a big deal? Treatments and surgeries are getting better and have come a long way from where they used to be. A 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles with the Jets, came back the next season, and didn't miss a beat. There is no reason the Colts and Daniel Jones can't pick up right where they left off. And now they'll have a full season of Sauce Gardner on top of it. The Colts may have turned into a surprise contender last year, but if you're surprised by them winning the Super Bowl this year, that's on you. If any team is primed to be this year's Patriots, it's the Titans. Year 2 quarterback who was done dirty by inept coaching his rookie year? Check. Head coach who is a great leader of men but got fired because his old team failed him? Not the other way around? Check. Offensive coordinator who is objectively a bad head coach but great at being an OC and is returning back to that role? Check. Lots of free agent signings? Check. The story writes itself. Except for the Titans, it's going to have a different ending.
Monte Taylor.
Because they're going to finish the job. Consider this a revenge tour for Cam Ward, Robert Saleh, and Brian Daboll, who are all out to prove that they belong in the NFL and can achieve great things.
They already look like a good duo right now.
When they're not surrounded by complete buffoonery. And that tour is coming to a city near you this fall. So the Browns
They got Cornell Tate.
have a huge question mark at the quarterback position. So what? Are we going to act like no one's ever won a Super Bowl with a less than stellar quarterback? The Browns are still loaded everywhere else. They nailed the 2025 draft with Quinshon Judkins, Harold Fannin, Carson Schlesinger, and Mason Graham, and they nailed this year's draft with Spencer Fano, Casey Concepcion, Denzel Boston, and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. And sure, Myles Garrett's gone. But that could be a good thing for this defense. Before, teams knew exactly who they had to worry about. Now the threat can come from anywhere. Ever hear of the element of surprise? So sure, the quarterback situation might not be great, but that's nothing a little carry
Now they got shit over.
job can't fix. Just ask Trent Dilfer or Sam Darnold. Finding a head coach and quarterback combination that can actually win a Super Bowl is no easy task. Unless you're the Steelers and you can just put one together that's already done it. Aaron Rodgers still has plenty left in the tank and just got upgrades across the board with Michael Pittman, Rico Dowdle, and the departure of Mike Tomlin, who, with all due respect, has been addicted to mediocrity for the last 10 years. Rodgers wouldn't be coming back if he didn't have plans to win one more Tom Brady on the Bucs type Super Bowl. And now he's got the coach that he's already done it with? What time's the parade? It's obvious John Harbaugh was holding Lamar back. I mean, we're talking about a 2-time NFL MVP, and you couldn't figure out how to coach that guy to a ring? Skill issue. But now that the bum coach who clearly let the game pass him by is out of the building, the Ravens can finally get back to the promised land. Jesse Minter's steering the ship these days, and we already know he can win from his time at Michigan under Jim Harbaugh. And Declan Doyle's coming in as the OC after spending all of 2025 absorbing Ben Johnson's offensive genius. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say part of that offensive genius is gonna involve not pulling Derrick Henry out of games in key moments for no particular reason, like a certain someone used to do. Oh yeah, and Trey Hendrickson's here now too. This team's always had all the ingredients necessary for a championship soup, but now they've got the right chefs to actually make it. Let me get this straight. You're gonna
Dexter Lawrence.
pair one of the most lethal offenses in NFL history with an actual defense for the first time ever and expect them not to win the Super Bowl? Yeah, okay. This team might sleepwalk to a Lombardi with Burrow, Chase, and Higgins dropping 35 a game, while Sexy Dexy and friends actually provide some resistance for once. The only hope for the rest of the league is that Burrow continues his never-ending rivalry with his own body. But I've got bad news for the he's gonna get injured crowd. It's an even-numbered year. Let me get this straight. You're gonna pair one of the most lethal offenses in NFL history with an actual defense again and expect them not to win the Super Bowl? Yeah, okay. This team was second in the league in points scored last year, lost literally nothing from that offense, and now is about to have their first full year with Quinnen Williams, traded for Rashawn Gary, signed Jalen Thompson and Kobe Durant, and drafted arguably the most versatile player in this year's NFL draft in Caleb
Yeah, they're looking kind of scary this
Downs.
year.
Giving this insanely good offense a real defense to complement it is like Happy learning how to putt, and we all know how that turned out. Congrats, Cowboys fans. After years of saying it, it finally is your year. It's obvious Lamar was holding John Harbaugh back. I mean, we're talking about a Super Bowl winning head coach.
What?
The guy's been there, done that. But Lamar, clearly more concerned with individual accolades than actually winning. But now that Harbaugh's away from him, he can finally get back to his championship ways. He brought all his favorite Ravens with him, Isaiah Likely, Pat Ricard, Jordan Stout, and now he can finally get the most out of them without Lamar dragging them down. He's got a quarterback ready to make a Drake May-esque year 2 leap, a running back who's the second coming of Marshawn
Absolutely not.
Lynch, and a defense with so much talent, people weren't sure how arguably the best player in the draft would fit into it. But what if Matt Nagy holds them back? Oh, you mean the guy who led the Chiefs to their back-to-back Super Bowl wins? I don't think so. Learn ball. The Eagles make Super Bowls in even-numbered years. It's just what they do. And I'm no math magician, but last time I checked, 2026 is an even-numbered year. Philly always has the talent to win a Super Bowl. They just alternate every year between having the worst offensive coordinator on the planet and one who actually knows what he's doing. But after kicking Kevin Patullo to the curb, they've got one that knows what he's doing again. Packer fans and media did not want Sean Mannion to leave the building. And that's because they know he's next up in the coaching ranks. And he's about to get this Eagles offense back to where it needs to be. On top of a schematic improvement, there's also going to be a massive vibe improvement, with that never satisfied head case A.J. Brown finally out of the building. It's going to be back to business and back to the Super Bowl for Philly. Last year was just a blip on the radar for the Commanders. Nothing more than a minor speed bump on their road to a championship. I mean, are we forgetting that this team got all the way to the NFC Championship game in Jaden Daniels' rookie year, and that he and Washington would have been set to build on that last year if not for some bad injury luck? Because Daniels is back, and they're about to pick up right where they left off, especially with a young, up-and-coming, innovative offensive coordinator like David Blau in the mix now, instead of that cap-ceiling screen merchant Cliff Kingsbury. 2024 was not a flash in the pan, and Washington's going to show that in 2026 by lighting the whole pan on fire. This may be the most stacked team on paper, literally ever. And I know, football's not played on paper, that's why we play the games, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. The Rams are going to stomp their opponents into a powder so fine that Lawrence Taylor might come out of retirement just to snort it. And speaking of Hall of Fame defensive players coming out of retirement, this assessment of the Rams doesn't even include the seemingly likely unretirement of Aaron Donald, who would push this team even further over the edge. So yeah, just to recap, we've got the reigning MVP, one of the best receivers in the game, a future Hall of Fame receiver who's still got it, one of the best corners in the game, and the number one, if not number one and two, best defenders of this entire generation, all on the same roster. And as if that wasn't already a full Sunday with multiple cherries on top, let's add one more by giving them the best coach in the NFL too. If I didn't love football so
He's not the best coach.
much, I'd say we can just sim this season, because we already know the outcome. The Cardinals are due. This has been one of the most irrelevant franchises in any sport for as long as I can remember, but their time is now. If Jacoby Brissett's the quarterback, great. He tied the single-game completion record last year and was once under the tutelage of the greatest quarterback of all time. If Carson Beck's the quarterback, great. He's a multi-time national champion, so he clearly knows how to win. And new head coach Mike LaFleur, he's worked under Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, so you know he has all the coaching knowledge anyone could ever need. Not to mention they have the best tight end in the league and a generational running back. The pieces are in place. The Seahawks just won the Super Bowl. Obviously, they can win it again. It doesn't matter if they lost their offensive coordinator. They brought in a new one who was also a Shanahan disciple, just like Clint Kubiak. And losing Kenneth Walker? Irrelevant. He could barely stay on the field anyway. Jadarian Price is a sleeping giant who never got a fair shot to show what he could do at Notre Dame playing behind Jeremiah Love. And yet, they lost some pieces on defense. Who cares? What, are they going to go from allowing 17 points a game to 18? Oh no, sound the alarms. As long as Mike McDonald's around, it'll be fine. Now someone get Drake on the phone, because these guys are going back to back. The 49ers have been locked in a battle with the injury gods for years, but this is the year they finally get the upper hand, because they are directly challenging the injury gods by signing to their constantly injured roster, Mike Evans. The Niners bringing him on board despite his mozzarella cheese hamstrings is a message to the injury gods that they're not afraid. They're standing up against their tyranny, saying, you want to hurt us? Go ahead. Do it. We'll even give you your easiest target yet. But they're not going to, because it's exactly that fearlessness and determination that's going to make the injury gods finally respect the 49ers and leave them alone. And a healthy 49ers team? Heck, that could have won the last 6 Super Bowls. The Vikings have shown us that with Kevin O'Connell, all they need to be a contender is bare minimum quarterback play. So what did they do? They brought in Kyler Murray. But the only thing he's going to be bare minimum at is height and his contract, because it's bounce back season for Kyler. This is a guy that once upon a time was viewed as a potential MVP caliber player. And what better to bring that back out of him than a quarterback whisperer like Kevin O'Connell, who's gotten production out of guys like Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins, and a supporting cast of Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jawan Jennings, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, and Jordan Mason. Pair all that with a Brian Flores defense, and this Vikings team is about to not only get right back to that 14-win threshold, they're about to leap over it and win it all. The training wheels are coming off in year 2 of the Ben Johnson era. Last year we got a little glimpse, just a little taste of what the Ben Johnson Bears could be capable of as they all learned a new system and adapted as they went, understandably keeping expectations low in the process. And all they did with those expectations was get the 2 seed in the NFC and finish 3 points shy of a conference championship appearance. Now tell me, what do you think you get when you take that amount of improvement and compound it with another year in the system where everyone's more comfortable now? I'll tell you what you get. A big fat Lombardi. They got bummy DJ Moore off the team, clearing the way for Ben's chosen ones, Luther Burden and Colston Loveland, to take things to the next level. Kyle Monungai is a dog. And anytime you want to win a championship, signing Kobe Bryant is a good call. The Bears are bringing it home. To Hammond, Indiana. Everyone's so quick to write off the Lions. Their window was a couple years ago and they missed it. Well, guess what? They've got you exactly where they want you. They want to be the underdog. They want to be overlooked. That's where they're most comfortable. They want you to forget about them so they can quietly improve in the shadows, making moves no one bats an eye at, like shifting Penei Sewell to left tackle and drafting a new right tackle to make their line a strength again, or trading away David Montgomery so Jahmyr Gibbs has free reign to light the world on fire. The Lions were tired of being seen as one of the favorites, and winning a Super Bowl as a favorite wouldn't have been in line with their identity anyway. But now that they're under the radar again, it's time to shock the world. More time. The Packers are bringing the title back to Titletown because they're about to have a new Golden Boy. Matthew Golden, their only first-round receiver taken in the last 23 years, is going to take that second-year leap and free the Packers from the receiver-by-committee prison they've been in since trading Devontae Adams. The Packers have been knocking on the door of contention for years, but having a real receiver will push them over the top. That, and they drafted Trey Smack, so no one has to hear Brandon McManus's name, or the loud doink that usually follows it, ever again. And sure, Micah Parsons won't be ready to start the year. So what? All that tells me is he's going to be primed and ready to help them finish the job when the time comes. Someone cue up Enter Sandman, because Parsons is about to be the ultimate closer. When you say Carolina Panthers, make sure you put division champs before it, because it doesn't matter what their record was. Fact is, they earned
We're not winning.
that title. And now that they've gotten a taste of what it's like to win, they're going to take it to the next
best team in
level.
the
Bryce
world
Young's
is
finally
winning.
coming into his own, Jonathan Brooks is about to break out, and Tet McMillan is an absolute dog. And do you know what happened the last time the Panthers had a national championship winning quarterback from the SEC? A running back named Jonathan and a wide receiver one whose first name starts with T-E? Coincidence? I think not. And this time they're going to finish what Cam and company started. It's a new era for the Buccaneers, and their willingness to step into that new era without fear and without hesitation is how I know they're about to win it all. It's not easy to move on from multiple franchise cornerstones like Mike
The Bucks have no chance.
Evans and Levante David in the same offseason. But the Bucks understood that that's what was best for the team, and having the courage to pull that trigger and abandon what wasn't working shows me they have a championship mindset. Emeka Ibuka, it's your offense now. Reuben Bain, it's your defense now. There are no limits for this transformed, this reborn Buccaneers team, all led by the ultimate dog, Baker Mayfield. And for as much criticism as he's gotten, Super Bowl champion Todd Bowles. The Bucks are ready to remind the NFL exactly what they're capable of, and that they don't need Tom Brady to do it. The Saints are destined for the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, we are.
Because they're basically the love child of the last two teams that played. The Patriots went from worst to first on the back of their impressive young quarterback who made a year two leap. And speaking of year two leaps, the Seahawks had a head coach who, after getting his feet wet in year one, showing flashes along the way, took his team all the way in year two. Do those blueprints sound familiar? Because New Orleans is about to follow both of them on the way to a Lombardi of their own. Kellen Moore is an offensive genius with a Super Bowl to his name already.
Yeah, Saints are winning it all.
Tyler Shuck last year gave the Saints some of their best quarterback play since the days of Drew Brees. Chris Olave's elite and doesn't have to do it all himself anymore with Jordan Tyson in the building. And you know Travis Achan's in for a big year if he's feeling himself so much that he's finally got the confidence to tell us how to pronounce his name. The vibes in New Orleans are high. This